amazing rate, scores them, I should say. So just the idea was just to get A behind him a little bit and have A as that big, long arm just ready to contest over the top of Rui. And so it was good for us in some segments. And, we were able to, after a tough first half, giving up 72 points, claw our way back into it. I think the closest we got was within 3. But, hats off to them. They came out, they defended their home floor. A lot of long rebounds. We gave them way too many second chance points, offensive rebounding opportunities, and 50-50 balls for that matter. That we got to be better in transition, and we can't foul them. We got to be more disciplined, showing our hands when we're guarding the ball and guarding those guys around the rim, in the post, and whatnot.
I know it just ended, but they made almost 50% from three-point tonight. Is that something you got to get out there more, or is it more kind of passing lanes?
I just think it's a little bit of everything, man. It's a talented team. It's very few one-trick ponies that make it this far. And so, they're able to put pressure on you in the paint, pressure on you from the three-point line. They're very capable shooters, some of which are elite. And you just got to be ready to get multiple efforts. Again, as I mentioned before the game, doing your work early, being in position when the defensive possession starts. That way we're not playing catch-up. So we'll go back and look at the film tonight, see what we need to clean up, take a good look at that second half, see what went well, try to sustain the good stuff, and alleviate and repair the bad stuff.
Lots to think about between games 1 and 2. Nuggets hang on to win at 132-126. They're now 7-0 on their home floor and 6-1 this season. Regular season
comes out of the pack. Here comes Murray. Alley-oop to Gordon. Oh, what a play!
what looked like a blowout became a scramble down the stretch, but Denver survives to take a 1-0 lead. In the Western Conference Finals, they hang on to win it 132-126. Lots to talk about here on Playoff Central Live, presented by AT&T 5G. Good to have you with us. Sam Mitchell, Grant Hill, I'm Matt Weiner. This was wild. There was a lot of wild stuff. Denver got everything they wanted offensively for most of the game. They took a 21-point lead. The Lakers may have figured something out in the second half when they outscored Denver by a dozen. And there's a lot to think about one game into the series.
Yeah, a lot. I mean, obviously LA lost, but certainly they figured, maybe stumbled onto something. First of all, they took Denver out of the running game. Mm-hmm. They made it a half-court game. They were very methodical. They dictated the pace. They executed the Lakers on the offensive end. They took advantage of some slippage on screen and roll defense. They attacked the paint. Denver doesn't really have a rim protector inside. Obviously, Davis was great. And then defensively, they really, for the first time, confused Denver. And maybe Jokic as well were able to neutralize him by taking Hachimura, putting him on him, and having Davis kind of play a free safety there. And there were a few possessions there where it looked like Denver was confused. They were forced turnovers. They didn't really get a good shot. So the Lakers down big. They showed a lot of grit, a lot of toughness getting back into the game. And, it's weird because they're down 20, but you say that they kind of let this one slip away. Because they had a chance to win this game and steal game 1.
Absolutely did. The Hachimura move seems like something they're likely to go back to because, to Grant's point, it allows Anthony Davis to roam around and wreak havoc defensively. Well, what's your takeaway if you're Darvin Ham from game 1?
You got to do it. You got to start the game that way. Because you normally say you can't lose a game in the first half. Oh, yes, they did. The Lakers lost this game in the first half.
Yeah.
It took, the Joker had unbelievable numbers. He was so efficient. Think about this. If Darvin Ham going into the game said if his team shot 55% from the 2, 46 from the 3, 89 from the free throw line, and score 126 points, you would be like, we're going to win by 10. And they lost the game. So 2 things if you're Darvin Ham. We now know we can score on this team. Right, we now know we can score 2. We now know if we change our coverages a little bit, it can confuse them. And to Grant's point, if we can take them out of their transition, slow them down, make them play half-court offense, now we have a chance because Rudy makes the joke is it's a different dynamics because when you're a smaller guy and a bigger guy, you take away certain things. The big guy always searching for him, and when he makes his move, it frees AD to come over and block shots, and it forced the Joker. You saw tonight, he was trying to force some passes that weren't quite there. So I think the Lakers, they're discouraged because as bad as they got beat up in that first half, they had a chance to tie or win this game at the end. So you got to be encouraged if you're the Lakers. If you're Denver, you got to tighten things up because Mike Malone saying we won this game, but he's got to be concerned because Darvin Ham made an adjustment they wasn't ready for. It's kind of like what Boston do with Robert Williams. Take him off the primary guy and let him roam. Now you got to ask yourself, how are they going to play going forward? Because if they don't figure this out, the Lakers got confidence in a loss in a game that they could have won.
Well, you see the numbers for Jokic, who had a 30-point triple-double through 3 quarters, did not record a single made bucket in the fourth quarter, got 3 points just on free throws. And a lot of that had to do with the defensive adjustment that the LA Lakers made. The Denver bench has been a problem on and off all season long. Everybody was a negative off that bench. Rui Hachimura with 17, and the Laker bench outscored them as well. But maybe there's a lineup change coming for LA in game 2, you would think.
Yeah, I mean, I think whether they change the lineup, they've shown that they're willing to change the lineup, but they figured something out here. You know, look, Anthony Davis off the ball they're at their best, and I imagine you'll see more of that as this series progresses.
AD with his 3rd career 40-point game. So I'll leave you with that.
For sure. All right, thank you. All right, thank y'all.
Continues Caldwell Pope with his 21 for the Nuggets today.
Occasions. I know there's no moral victories, but do you suppose the Lakers might have figured some things out that will help them moving forward?
Yeah, this is about as close as you can get to a moral victory this time of year. I think the Lakers have to be happy with how they performed offensively in the second half, and then defensively as well. I think you will definitely see more of AD not on Nikola Jokic in game 2. We'll see how Darvin Ham kind of changes up the rotation to facilitate more of that, but I think that simply worked too well for them to not give it another look. And then you saw the Lakers really imposing their physicality against the Nuggets. They got to the free throw line a ton in the second half. That was a lot of how they got back into the game. When you get to the line, that helps you get easy points. That also allows you to set your defense on the other end. And I thought that took Denver out of its offensive rhythm as much as anything else. So the Lakers formula, I think going in was they have to kind of muck the game up. They need to get to the line. They need to score in transition, and they did that in the second half of this game.
Yeah, awfully interesting. You mentioned the free throws. Anthony Davis was 11 of 11 from the charity stripe in a 40-point, 10-rebound game. LeBron, 26 points, 12 rebounds, and 9 assists. So the Lakers, 2 stars did perform. We mentioned Jokic, but Jamal Murray as well. 31 points in this game. He was kind of up and down in the last series. Some games spectacular, some games off with the shot. How critical is it for Denver to win this series, to have him there neck and neck with the Joker the rest of this series?
Oh, it's imperative that Jamal Murray is playing at an all-star level on offense for the Nuggets to kind of be who they are. Like that Jokic-Murray 2-man game is kind of the heart of their offense that facilitates offense for not just them, but other guys cutting off of that, shooters getting open looks off of that. There's no team in the NBA that has solved that particular action, and part of that is because these are both extremely creative players. I mean, Jokic and Murray both hit some wild, difficult shots in this game, but like nothing we haven't seen before, though. I thought you would have no idea that Murray was playing through a difficult ear infection that had him listed as questionable coming into this game. I thought he looked great, particularly on offense, particularly in the first half. The only sort of question mark I think with him going forward is what they want to do with him defensively. One thing the Lakers did over and over again was target him on defense. LeBron was calling him up into the pick and roll, and Denver was giving up that switch for most of the game. It wasn't until very late that they started trying to do the show and recover thing with Murray, and I think you'll see more of that in game 2.
Yeah, LeBron was overpowering him on a few occasions. I want to mention Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, KCP, the former Laker, critical in this game. 21 points for the Denver Nuggets in the win. But James, as you watch this game unfold, did you get kind of a blueprint or ideas on how you think the rest of the series will play out?
I think we saw some strategic shifts in the game that showed us kind of what each team's formula will be. I think more so you saw the Lakers kind of figure some things out, right? Like you saw them change the way they approached Jokic on the defensive end. You saw them looking to involve Murray